Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I am joined once again by my cohort Tom here. We are out for another day of enjoying black powder. What rifle do we have today, Tom?
Well, we are looking at the Beaumont.
We've done the Beaumont. I remember the Beaumont.
That's correct. We are looking at the Beaumont 7188, the follow-up to the Beaumont we looked at earlier.
Okay.
So the Dutch in the late 1880s, they're like, wow, our single-shot black powder rifle is starting to become really obsolete when you have things like the Lebel running around with magazines, smokeless. We need to find a way to become less, well, terrible.
Everyone was looking for a new system by that point. Yeah.
Right. And so rather than jump straight from single shot up to magazine loading, smokeless, they're like, let's get a transitional to get going so we can really make a good decision. And so they ran a series of tests, and they decided to go with this, the 7188 Beaumont-Vitali.
Oh my God, they put a magazine on it.
Exactly.
Mind blown.
Yeah, so they have a little 4-shot Vitali magazine system attached to the standard 71. It fires like normal, but it feeds assisted from a clip. So
this is not an original Dutch clip.
Correct. They did not have 3D printing technology back in the 1880s. But the 7188 clips now, or chargers, are kind of hard to come by.
I remember once seeing some for sale at a surplus site.
Yeah.
And now, in retrospect, I regret not buying one or two of them. But they were like $150 a piece.
Right, for a piece of 10, nailed to a block of wood with a string.
Yeah, some driftwood and a tin can.
Right. So for 25 cents worth of PLA, I have printed out a couple of new ones. And they mostly work.
All right.
But for 25 cents versus unobtainium.
Yeah, and who knows how long the original ones last today.
Exactly. When
they're now 150-something years old, give or take.
Right. So the reason why the Dutch actually went with the Vitali system is they were looking at a couple. One was the Mannlicher system, and that one fires from an actual clip, on block, so it actually has to fire from it. And they were looking, and they're like, well, we know this is not a permanent solution, and we don't want to spend that much money, because with the Vitali, you're able to actually single load, no problem, and use it and the chargers are only an aid to loading.
Right, and the end block clip designs like Mannlicher, you have to have the clip in there in order to shoot the gun.
Exactly. And so this way they wouldn't have to repackage the millions of rounds they had in storage.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And a relatively cheap and easy upgrade to their existing stock of Beaumont rifles.
Right. It goes from wildly obsolete to only minorly obsolete.
Yeah, it's not bad for 1880.
Exactly.
Like, at that point, tech was advancing so quickly that every 5 or 10 years, you had essentially a new generation of rifles.
Right.
We went from basically not cartridges to first generation of wonky cartridges to first generation of proper good cartridges. And then almost as soon as anyone adopted those, you went to, oh, now we have repeating systems with magazines.
Yep.
And then just as soon as everyone adopted those, it's like, oh, throw out all that powder. Yeah. Now we've got smokeless powder.
Exactly.
And not only do you need a new rifle, you need a whole new cartridge.
Right. And that's what I love about this particular period of firearms history.
Yeah.
It's so wild. And because it was changing so rapidly, nobody ever figured out the right way to do things. And so they were just throwing things against the wall. Like, does this work? Nope. Well, let's try again.
Yeah. I remember, we're getting a little off topic here, but I have some books on development of the Gras and the Lebel. And when the French were looking for a potential magazine system, they tested something like nearly 100 different experimental magazine-fed versions of the Gras. And frankly, the US did too, and so did the British. There were trials with dozens of rifles.
Everybody with a shop and an idea could get into these trials.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of them were terrible.
Now, these are actually pretty reasonably available in the US today.
That's right. This one got on Gunbroker for about $350.
Super cheap.
Yeah. The downside comes from the ammunition, but we'll get into that later.
The ammo and the clips.
Yes.
Because until you did these, I haven't, now maybe they're out there and I haven't seen them, but I haven't seen people actually making reproduction clips for the Vitali.
I didn't see them either, otherwise I would have just downloaded those. Yeah.
All right, well, let's see if they actually work.
All right, let's find out. Grab a clipazine.
So you put it in, you push the whole clip into the gun, and then that string is actually, that's like original to the design. They had a string on them, so you yank the clip out.
And then you would get rid of that.
Very nice, that actually worked. And you need the 4 rounds for when you miss.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty nice.
Amazing firepower. Can you imagine? 4 rounds before you have to reload.
It does have a magazine cutoff, though, so in case you don't want to get too wild.
Oops. This one shed a cartridge while it was in my pocket. Let's just fix that. There we go. All right. So, clip in. There we go. In it goes. Out comes the clip. 4 rounds ready to go. Oh, the magazine cutoff has become engaged. So, let me take a spare round, drop it on top, miss. Now, to disengage the magazine cutoff, I'm going to push that forward. It's just a little tiny bit of travel there. But now, oh, wait. Nope, hold on, I did it wrong. All right, so when I engage the magazine cutoff, that little tab pulls down, which pulls the cartridge down enough that the bolt doesn't pick it up. When I pull this back, that tab comes back, and now the rim gets picked up by the bolt. And then I get a case stuck in the chamber. Fortunately, we have a rod on the gun. You might wonder, why did they continue to put loading rods on cartridge rifles that are no longer muzzle loaders? Well, the answer is partly for cleaning, and partly so that you have a way to knock out stuck cases, which inevitably happen. There we go. Okay, Tom, we don't have a ton of ammo for this.
Right.
And we need to do a speed trial.
Correct.
So, this being a magazine-fed gun, our speed trial is 8 rounds.
Yep.
Start with the gun empty. So you will need to, we'll let you go first. You'll need to load it, fire 4, reload it, fire another 4.
Right, so 2 clips.
Yeah, exactly.
Or chargers, if you want to. Somebody in the comments going to make some
I'm sure, and there's
comment.
probably a specific Dutch term, which I didn't think to look up before I came out here.
Me neither. I'm sure somebody will tell us.
It's going to sound like German and look like French written.
All right.
Have at it, sir. All right, let's... All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Stand by. Section clamp.
That felt pretty good.
30.78 seconds. 3078.
All right, so didn't catch that last round on there, but I clicked it as soon as you finished, so deduct like a second or two, so 34 seconds.
34 seconds,
Yeah.
a little slower than you.
Right.
Again, some fumbling with the actual reloading process. Like,
Right.
you have to get those clips just in the right place.
Right.
And part of me wants to say, oh, you know, I was being extra careful because they're delicate 3D printed clips.
Yeah.
But the originals are delicate sheet tin clips, and I'd
Right.
be even, I mean, today I'd be extremely delicate trying to work an original one.
Cost,
but
yeah.
even if they were brand new, I feel like you'd still be fairly careful because you mess that up a little bit, bend the edge of the clip, and then it's
and then it gets
give you
caught in there, and
problems.
you're sitting there, and then like the strings, they're not going to be super strong. So if you yank out, oh, it's stuck, and you got to get your knife out, pry it out.
Yeah.
Big production.
Yeah, exactly. So
but,
I had one round that didn't fire, and I'm pretty sure what happened was when I cocked it, or when I loaded the round, I didn't have the bolt all the way down, and so when I pulled the trigger, the firing pin dropped, but it also had to push the bolt the rest of the way down, and that sucked enough energy out that it didn't have enough to detonate the prime. So, but it wasn't the last round; it was in the middle. I don't think we need to worry about that.
Exactly, it gives us close enough, the same time, which is what we're looking for here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it is comparable to a lot of the single shot rifles we've been seeing. But when you discount that like initial 10 seconds to pull out a clip, load it, and you're just looking at the actual rapid fire, it's pretty good.
It's definitely a nice fast gun to shoot, nice and smooth on the bolt. I was able to cycle it from the shoulder, which is cool. I can't always do that with long, heavy old rifles like this, but to me, this has really no downsides compared to the original single shot Beaumonts.
Right. I mean, if you want a single shot Beaumont, turn on the magazine cutoff. Done. Yeah.
You almost even don't have to. If you don't have the magazine loaded, you can just drop a round in there like it's a feed tray.
Right.
And
there you go.
Whoop, there it goes.
Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah.
We haven't really done enough magazine rifles to give this one much of a, a placement in our overall ranking, but I would say
not bad.
Darn good rifle.
Yeah.
Nothing stands out as problematic.
Right. I didn't feel anything bad about it. I mean, for 1888, it's a little behind the time.
Yes.
But still considerably better than a single shot.
Yeah. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We are going to go head inside and take a look at the 3D printed clips and the ammo.
Right.
And that full video is available over on the History of Weapons and War streaming service, available through your desktop, as well as all the major mobile and OTT television streaming services. We're going to talk about how to make the ammo and how to make the clips, because YouTube doesn't like any of that stuff.
Yeah, they kind of frown upon that.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys over there. Link is in the description text below.